The Rock is finally here as Black Adam, and he's here to save the DCEU. But is The Rock the franchise Viagra the DCEU needs, as he was for the Fast and Furious franchise? Or does the film fall flat and, limp? Remember that time in Shazam when the wizard in Shazam was like, hey, Shazam, I made another Shazam, but it was a bit of a boo-boo. Well, that boo-boo, he got a movie, and it's Black Adam! Is it as bad as everyone says? Absolutely not. Is it going to change your mind on superhero films if you're not really into them? Absolutely not. Does it save the DCEU? Not at all. I mean, absolutely not. I was doing a 1, 2, 3 thing, and then the third one, I messed it up right at the end. Much like the third act of this movie, which is bad. It's everything you hate in a superhero movie. Sick and tired of all your DC heroes killing too many people. Well, Black Adam's here to kill more people. So many people. I cannot stress enough. He just kills so many people. Honestly, that's what most of the film is. Just Black Adam just killing so many people. The man loves to kill. Batfleck and Superman, they're gonna love him. The fun of this movie is The Rock. He relishes the opportunity to be more of a vigilante bad boy kind of character in this. He feels like a character in a video game that's in God mode and like he just cannot be stopped, and he's just like darting all over the place, touching people, exploding them with lightning, and just doing all kinds of crazy madness. I think that's the biggest strength of the film. So the movie mostly sets place in Kahndaq, and it's a really interesting setting. It's an oppressed nation, and Black Adam, while he does a bunch of murders and killings, they're all like, hey, it's that hero from 1 billion years ago. Hail the hero. And then the JSA come and they go, heroes don't kill. And Black Adam's like, I'm The Rock, and I do kill. And that's like the setup of the movie. The movie kind of goes off from there. And the main conflict is actually pretty well handled a lot of the time. There's some really interesting stuff. I feel like it works best in action. And then sometimes after the action, they have like a little bit of a dialogue, and you're like, yeah, no, I understand. The dialogue probably doesn't have to be this cringy and clunky. The JSA rock up, which is Hawkman, Dr. Fate, and they're both fantastic, really well cast, good performances. If you don't know these characters and you were hoping to be introduced to who they are and what they are, you're going to be very disappointed and just very confused. But if you know who these characters are, you're going to be like, yeah, cool, this is pretty fun. Pretty good interpretation. One thing towards the end with Dr. Fate, I was like, sorry, what? But for the most part, really, really great. Particularly Pierce Brosnan. He just kills it. Like, he has a gravitas to him that is just like, ugh. And he's also just got such sexy old man energy. Like, damn, does he look better than he did when he was James Bond? Like, I know that's not possible, but I think, like, that Silver Fox thing just, that's, But then we also get 2 other JSA characters, and they're just kind of in it. We have Mrs. Lady Tornado, or Lady Hurricane, or Mrs. I do wind, that's my power, and she's in the movie, and she says lines, and sometimes it goes like, and wind happens. And then we have the last member of the JSA League, Ant-Man. Sorry, no, I mean Ant Smasher. No, sorry, I mean Atom Smasher. But he's just Ant-Man, but just Giant Man. Like, it's just Giant Man all the time. He never gets little tiny Ant Boy small. He just gets very big. And the visual of this is spectacular. It is so cool seeing him get real big, and then he, like, does a big punch on the ground, and someone's like, ow, it's a big fist, you know, and all that fun shenanigans. But the characterization of the character himself, it leaves a lot to be desired, and there were moments where I'm like, oh, I really want to like him. I feel like they were kind of underutilizing him and underserving him as a character. Like, the film has so much runtime. It's kind of disappointing we don't get more of the JSA, and that we get a big third act that kind of sucks. It is just utterly surreal and super, super cool to see Dr. Fate, like, in a movie with the helmet and everything, like, absolutely crazy. I kind of almost wish they had maybe saved him for his own movie, but, you know, whatever. Him and Hawkman as side characters worked really well as well. But, you know, if you don't know who these characters are and you're like, who are they? Explain to me, movie, what's with the helmet? They're not going to tell you. They're just going to flat out not tell you. At least with Tornado Girl, you're like, I get it. She's a girl and she's also a tornado. Or whatever. The comic relief, no good. We have a little boy character. I could have gone without him, but I understand why he was necessary for the plot. But there's a lot of dialogue with him that I found really clunky and kind of cringy and awful and just a bit like, But there is a moment where The Rock, like, punches like a poster of Superman. He has some like electricity and he burns the Superman thing, and it's like, I see. I feel like The Rock put that in there to be like, hey, I'm the new main character of this franchise. The hierarchy of the DCEU is about to change, or whatever he said. I think if you like The Rock, you're gonna like this movie. Mostly. Or maybe not. Everyone seems to hate it. The Rock has been cast as Black Adam for 8 years, and a lot of this script kind of feels like it's maybe 8 years old. Like, a lot of the things that happen in the third act, and some of the clunky exposition throughout it and right at the start feels very like 8 years ago. I would have been like, hey, I've only seen this 3 or 4 times. But now we're getting to that point where you see this, you're like, I thought we were beyond this. I thought these type of films ended like 5 years ago. But apparently not. But also, The Rock does lightning electricity powers and kills people, and that's pretty cool. Although there is a lot of slow-mo. Like, there's one scene in particular with way too much slow-mo and like a song. No. Just no. Yeah, so if you don't like slow-mo, The Rock, or superhero movies, this will probably be the worst film you've ever seen. But, you know, if those things don't annoy you, or you love all 3 things, this is gonna be the film for you.